Hi, and welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. The East Brunswick Human Relations Council held its annual Our Community is Fair celebration on Sunday, spotlighting the many ethnicities represented in our town. The Rutgers University Orchestra has a new young conductor in the person of Australian-born Kynan Johns. Mr. Johns took time out of his busy schedule to stop in at the EBTV studio to talk about his background and to discuss his plans for the orchestra's upcoming season. Local photographer Niro has an exhibition of her work on display at Marcel's Art Studio in Milltown. We'll show you an excerpt of an upcoming edition of Dolly's World, in which Dolly had the chance to speak to Deb on location at the exhibit. We'll also have information about the 11th annual James Hess Folklore and Storytelling Festival. This event always sells out quickly, so stay tuned for ticket information. And of course, we'll have our weekly Township Council review. All that and more is on the way, so stay with us.
On October 19th, you will have an opportunity to make a difference in the lives of breast cancer survivors across New Jersey. Join thousands of others as we race to find a cure. If you are a breast cancer survivor, join the ladies in pink. Come celebrate survivorship in honor of those who have battled the disease. Join us at Bristol-Myers Squibb on Route 206. Register now for the Komen, New Jersey Race for the Cure, 609-252-2008.
The smell of ethnic food, the sight of cultural dancing, and the sound of rhythmic music mark this festive day. Hi, I'm Julie and Angela, and at East Brunswick, our community is Fair Day, to speak with a few of the coordinators and vendors about this day of sharing. I'm here with my neighbor, May Lee. Hi.
How are you?
How did you get involved in this?
When this fair is started in East Brunswick, I started joining. So I've been here every year, since '93, I think.
And what do you paint?
I paint Chinese paintings. It's a water-based pigment. And I also use watercolor on rice paper or silk.
With me is Karen Keskes, the Recreation Supervisor for Community Services. Hi, how did you prepare for this event?
Hi, Jillian. Well, we start in January with the Human Relations Council and their group of volunteers, and we look for different craft vendors who have some cultural exhibits, and of course we look for entertainers like you hear in the background now.
That's good. What is the schedule for today?
Well, today we have, of course, a cultural entertainment on stage all afternoon, and we have some free face painting and a free hat craft project for kids, and lots of other exhibits and craft vendors here who all have something to offer.
That's great. Rebecca, when did our Community Fair Day start?
Our Community is Fair Day began 11 years ago, so this is our 11th festival.
And what was your role in the program?
I am the fair coordinator for the last 11 years, and it stemmed out of the East Brunswick Human Relations Council wanting to have a continuous show of cultural richness that our town has to display.
And when did you begin the planning?
The planning for the fair every year is about 9 months before the actual event, as there are so many different things that we have to work on.
Why is our Community Fair Day important to you?
It's important to me for the main reason why the Human Relations Council does this event is because it shows the richness of how diversity affects our town. that with all the various cultures and ethnicities in our town, we all come out, we share music, we share art together, we share food and craft, and we're proud of it. So there is a lot to be said about the harmony that this type of event brings out.
Greg, what is your booth here?
We're selling baked goods to benefit youth council.
And what do you have in your hand?
This is a coloring book that our Human Relations Committee made. It involves a bunch of different pictures and poems and crossword puzzles and like paper doll cutouts that we made, and they're to like educate kids on diversity.
And what do these benefits go to?
The benefits go to youth council itself because we do a lot of things. We go to Special Olympics, we do a lot of food drives, do a lot of community service, and we do cleanups and stuff, and also for our socials, like when we go to football games and we go to like New York and stuff like that. Because, you know, it's really a fun thing because we do good, like community and stuff like that, but we also have fun, so it's a really good organization.
Oh, that's wonderful. Have fun.
All right.
Well, so what ingredients do you have here?
Chicken, we have everything. Chicken, beef, broccoli, fried rice, and noodles.
And what is your favorite?
My favorite is pork rice with General chicken.
What's your favorite?
Chicken broccoli.
What do you like?
Chicken broccoli also.
All right, well, thank you. How has business been?
Very good, very good.
Councilman Klemp, how has this day helped East Brunswick residents?
Well, as we go through our regular daily lives, we're very caught up in our routines, and we forget to see the diversity in this community. And events like this help bring that out and educate everybody, and the Human Relations Council has done an excellent job doing that. And it just goes to help build stronger, better communities.
I definitely agree. And what would you like to share about your culture?
Well, I grew up in, I guess, a basic American household. Although my heritage is Polish, all my grandparents were Polish. I did get a little bit of the polka music and some of the foods, but not as much as other cultures, and I kind of miss that. I wish I had more of that in my life.
Jennifer, can you please explain the program?
Sure. We're Model United Nations Club from East Brunswick High School. We mainly go through a selection process to make the team. It's a class, technically, because we get class credit for the work that we do. And we go to conferences. We're going 3 this year. Rumen, Nisman, and Harvard Model United Nations. And for Rumen, we're representing Ecuador and Turkey. And for Harvard, we're representing Australia and Russia. And what we do is we take the positions of these countries and research international issues, and then we go to these conferences and debate them. And we have a good time. It's educational, but we also learn a lot about diversity.
Well, thank you very much. Hi, Mark. What is this map about?
Basically what we're doing here, it's a project on diversity, and we're trying to demonstrate different ethnicities and nationalities that people represent, and hopefully by the end of the day, we should have a wide range of people represented on the map, and hopefully it'll be nice.
Hi, Donna. How long have you been at the Art Communities Fair Day?
Well, this is our second year here, and we always sell cookies.
And what types are there here?
There's pinatas, which are new this year, lemon pastry creams, peanut butter patties, animal treasures, peanut butter sandwiches, shortbreads, and caramel delights.
Hi, Ariel. What types of things do you do in the Girl Scouts?
Well, we go camping, we help needy people, we do community service, and a lot of other trips and things.
And why should somebody join the Girl Scouts?
Well, it's a good opportunity, and it helps you become a good person, and you get to do a lot of fun stuff and all kinds of stuff like that. So I think it's really fun.
Hi, Samantha. What is your booth about?
Our booth is called Hats Off to Diversity, and it's when kids can come and make their own little personalized hats.
And what do they use to decorate them?
Well, you can use puffy paint, jewels, or just like little sequins and flowers.
Hi, Elena. How did you get involved with this?
Well, since we're in 9th grade now, we decided to do some community service because it helps with the transcripts. So we decided to do this because it seemed like a really fun booth to do.
And how has business been?
Really, it's been great because there are so many kids that want to do all different kinds of hats.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, good luck with the business.
Thank you.
Thanks to all the people who coordinated Our Community is Fair. Remember, our town is shared by many cultures, and we can all learn a lot from each other at the Municipal Complex on Jillian Angeline.
On the October edition of Dolly's World, Dolly Vasta interviews local artist and photographer Deb Ann Niro, who has some of her photography on display at the new Marcel's Art Studio in Milltown. Here's Dolly Vasta.
Hi, I'm Dolly Vasta, and welcome back to Dolly's World. We're taping today at Marcel's Art Studio in Milltown, New Jersey, and the title of our show is From Africa to the Arctic. Sounds very mysterious, doesn't it? And very clever? Well, it's not mine. It belongs to a photography exhibit belonging to my guest for today, Deb Ann Niro. So why don't we just safari over and find out what happened from Africa to the Arctic. Deb, you had said once to me that although you had been trained in the world of science and the technical field, that you had always been torn between art and science, and that art has kind of won out, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Finally, the fight to keep the balance has ended. I've crossed to the other side now.
Yeah, Well, you're on the good side,
I'm on the
too.
good side now.
And there is a big crossover anyway between art and science.
Yes, there is.
So
I
this-
love both, though. I really do. So, but
Well, we need both in this world.
we do.
Listen, let's get on with your pictures because we have so much to cover, and really, it's a very short time, and I am just fascinated by this photography display that you have. So one of the first that I spied were the two monkeys and the picking fleas. And I know you gave that the title,
Yes.
but it reminded me so much of a mother and her little one that she sends up to take a bath. And when she comes down, she looks at the back of him and she says, "You never washed your ears." And that's the exact same expression that the monkey has.
It's true. It's all about, this whole display here is all about animals and taking care of each other. And that's kind of the theme of it all, how animals are, they can be rough and tough, but basically there's a caring and a respect there, which is really something we could all learn a lesson from in life.
Well, they're very family-oriented.
They are.
What was it like on safari? Was it
Beautiful.
rough? I can't see you on safari, I'm sorry.
It was, but it wasn't. I was just so in love with the whole idea of going on safari. I've always wanted to do it since I was a little kid. It was really a dream come true for me. And being among the animals and just feeling, it's very like magical, just being among them and seeing how they live and their acceptance of my presence and the fact that I didn't pose a threat to them. That was real special to me.
Dolly's World can be seen Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 11 a.m.
At Monday night's Town Council meeting, Township Attorney Michael Baker explained the Township's statute on development fees.
Brunswick has had a developer fee ordinance for some 20 years. If you want to look in your code book, it's contained in section 132-55. It tracks the only statute that's been enacted by the state to allow these type of fees in Title 40, and that statute was enacted in 1978. The good thing is that we've been doing it for some time, and there's not anything at the moment that I can see that we need to do or can do at the moment to change that. The other part of it was research, which Anthony conducted, getting in contact with the legislators who had been proposing the various developer impact fee statutes down in the legislature. And unfortunately, the bills, there's a package of bills, Assemblyman Gasoria, Bonnie Watson-Coleman, and I believe another assemblyman from the 14th district have a package of bills in, some since 1998, and they keep getting them refiled every session, but they have not moved to adoption. Those sets of bills, if approved, would allow fees to be imposed for schools and other types of significant improvements that are impacted by development. But right now, that's not the law. We are confined to the statute and to our ordinance, which tracks it, and that allows a developer to be assessed their fair proportionate share based on a formula that the town has to develop and which our engineering and planning staff have for their direct impact on things such as drainage, roadways, and intersections. So we're current, and we will continue to keep an eye on the legislation, and if anything happens with regard to its passage or signing into law by Governor McGreevey, we'll get right back to the council and give you something by way of options to consider.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next Town Council meeting will be held on Monday, October 13th in the Municipal Courtroom.
She was recently inducted into the National Storytelling Network Circle of Excellence, the highest honor for professional storytelling, and her stories have been published in 6 anthologies, featured on National Public Radio, and recorded on 5 popular albums. She's Barbara McBride Smith, and she's this year's star performer at the 11th Annual James Hess Folklore and Storytelling Festival, November 22nd and 23rd, right here at the library. Chances are you've never heard Greek myths, or any other stories for that matter, told as Barbara McBride Smith tells them, with down-home irreverence, postmodern humor, feminist baby boomer undertones, and a very engaging Southwestern drawl. When she's not on stage, the native Texan keeps busy as a children's librarian, author, and college professor of storytelling in her adopted state of Oklahoma. Her unique talents have charmed and delighted audiences of all ages at the world's most prestigious storytelling festivals since 1987. At the Saturday evening performance, From Waco to Mount Olympus, you can enjoy Barbara McBride Smith's colorful reinterpretations of Zeus as a thunder-toting Big Daddy and Pandora as framed by a bunch of good old boys. The Sunday afternoon family performance for ages 7 and up, Bad Guys, Good Guys, and Us Guys, is full of richly detailed stories designed to engage a child's imagination. Don't miss the chance to see this wonderful, award-winning performer. Tickets are $15 for the adults-only performance on Saturday, November 22nd at 8 p.m., which concludes with a delicious unlimited dessert buffet. A show for families with children ages 7 and up is scheduled for Sunday, November 23rd at 2 p.m. Tickets for that performance are $3 per person, or a maximum of $7 per family. Tickets go on sale October 9th and are available at the library circulation desk. The Storytelling Festival is sponsored by the Friends of the Library and co-sponsored by Comcast, Johnson & Johnson, Target, and the Karma Foundation. For more information, please call 732-390-6789 or log on to www.ebpl.org and click on News and Events.
Hi, I'm Cindy O'Connor for This Week in East Brunswick, and joining us in the studio today is Kynan Johns, the new orchestra director for the Mason Gross School of the Arts. Welcome, Kynan.
Thank you. Hello.
Tell us, what brought you to Rutgers University?
Well, for the last 3 years, I mean, originally I'm Australian, and the last 3 years I've been living in Israel with my wife, working there, and we're thinking of, well, due to the situation there, it's not just the political events, but also musically things are quite difficult there at the moment, and over the last 2 years we've been looking at where to go from there, and we decided together that we thought the States was the best option, and then we just started looking for what jobs are available, of course, and particularly the East Coast, of course, with its proximity to New York, also the ability to go back to Israel and get to Europe in terms of other work as well. And so we looked at the jobs available, and actually a friend of mine, a composer based in Philadelphia, Robert Moran, said there was a vacancy here at Rutgers. So I applied and got on wonderfully with the staff and the faculty. It was really quite a connection to start with, and even though I had other applications, other job offers, I felt most comfortable here, and the orchestra had impressed me during my audition, and I was looking forward to working with them, and I thought there was a lot of potential in terms of the orchestra, in terms of the music program in general.
In looking at your bio, your experience is quite extensive, and you hardly seem old enough to have done everything that you've done. Tell us a little bit about your background. Well, to start with, I mean, I did my Bachelor of Music in Adelaide. That's in the centre of Australia. You've got, what, Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria on the right, South Australia's in the middle, Adelaide. It's the wine capital of Australia, so that's the good thing. And I did my bachelor's there in composition and piano. I mean, at that stage, I think I was wanting to be either a singer or a violinist, and luckily, well, I learnt that I wasn't a very good violinist, so I went into conducting in my honours year. And then I was lucky enough that the Masters was offered at Sydney Conservatorium with a very good conductor called David Porcelain, who was chief of the Adelaide Symphony and Tasmanian Symphony at that time. He's also Dutch, so he had the Noord-Hollands Philharmonisch Orchestra and worked a lot in Europe. He was very good with contemporary music, and he was very disciplined, and you know, as an Australian, the life is quite good. You need someone to bring that discipline into your being and in terms of your practice and how you approach music, because it's very important. From there, he was able to, where he believed in me, and put his hands in the fire, so to speak, and gave me concerts with a number of the ABC orchestras. Then, of course, it's just the competitions and the master classes that one has to do to make contacts, to let people know that you're out there. So that's how it happened. From there, I had a scholarship to go work in Israel. And from there, a lot of work happened happened in Europe. Did a masterclass in Europe. Another conductor saw me there, invited me to China. So it's all that. The more you do, the more people know about you, and the more they can invite you if they believe in you. Of course, there's a bit of selling yourself, not over the top, but you have to, of course, sell yourself and believe in yourself, and put yourself out there to be judged all the time, and then things come from that. I did the Metropolis competition in 2001, I think, or 2002. And got the second prize in that, so that's led to more concerts in Greece and in Europe.
put myself up for the Laura Mizell competition. I mean, that was part of the reason probably why I got the job at Rutgers, because they had seen the finalists who were in this competition. It was a wonderful competition, and Mizell should be commended for putting the amount of work into it that he has done for someone with his schedule and his stature. And I was lucky enough to be one of the finalists in Carnegie Hall working with Orchestra of St. Luke's, which is how Rutgers heard of me. And they were actually said, when I wrote to Rufus Hallmark, the chair, and said, I'm interested in applying, would you be interested in me applying? He said, yes, we'd noticed 2 of the finalists, and we're hoping that someone might apply, or we might go and contact them directly. And Mizell has been wonderful, and that's also one of the good things about being close to Rutgers, is the fact that I can still maintain that relationship with Laura Mizell and the New York Philharmonic, hopefully, after we settle in. And I'll be working with him more in the future with his opera in Covent Garden, which is going on in 2005. And hopefully with that I can bring a lot of that to the orchestra at Rutgers and see it grow. I think, I mean, in terms of the orchestra in Rutgers, and I'll get onto advertising the concert a little bit, is that it's wonderful. I was so surprised by the first rehearsal, because I programmed a very difficult piece, the Strauss Don Juan, and they're doing a fantastic job. They've really come up to the occasion. I think, personally, that it's as good as many of the other institutions. I won't name names, of course, but many of the other premier institutions, if not better, in terms of the standard of the orchestra at this point. Of course, all university orchestras have some strengths and weaknesses, but in terms of the overall sound that people will hear on October the 3rd, it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the year and next year and the year after.
Kynan, in the 2 minutes or less that we have remaining, tell us about the season.
Well, after the first concert, we go to the Viennese Classics. So it's a program of Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven. Beethoven's Eroica Symphony, Haydn 88, and the Mozart Piano Concerto in D minor. Then, for the end of this semester, we go to an orchestral tour de force, which has the Bartók Concerto for Orchestra, which is, again, extremely difficult, extremely ambitious. We have some French music with the Ravel La Tombe de Couperin. Excuse me, my French is not so good. And I can't remember at this stage what the concerto is in that concert. I think it's the Kabalevsky Violin Concerto. Then we have the opera, Romeo and Juliet by Gounod. Then for the first concert in the spring semester, I'm actually changing the program. It was originally Bernstein. Well, I'm going to still do some Bernstein, but I want to do Prokofiev Symphony No. 5, because it's a wonderful piece, and I think this orchestra can do it. It's incredible work. And then to finish the year, we go to Russia with Love. So it's all Tchaikovsky program, Tchaikovsky Romeo and Juliet, Fantasy Overture, the Piano Concerto No. 1, and Tchaikovsky Fifth Symphony. So we'll have Prokofiev 5 and Tchaikovsky 5 throughout the year. So no, it'll be extremely exciting. In terms of goals for the next year, I still haven't planned next year's program, but there will be the Rutgers in New York at Carnegie Hall again, and then the year after is the centenary of Shostakovich in 2006, so I'm hoping that we'll have quite a lot of events in that year to celebrate that centenary.
Well, it sounds like a very exciting season and future plans. I know Rutgers is very fortunate to have you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Looking forward to it. Thanks.